Oh, we're on Altamont Path. Top of the hill. Top of a hill. And it started already. My internal GPS system. I no longer need to use Google Maps because I just so happen to pull over in front of places where there's dog food stores that I need to go spend my last $100 at for Sadie's dog food. Just randomly, kind of shit starts happening when you're on the road. Yeah, apparently. But last night, when we were sleeping in that parking lot, I had the worst pain, which I've been getting lately. I don't know what it is, but I think it might be gallstones, because I've heard that that's the most painful thing you can experience. And, it went away as soon as I peed. But it was, so painful I couldn't barely get out of bed without screaming. And then I was fine after I peed. So I know you all want to know that. That's fascinating. And then I threw up later. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But, maybe it's just detoxing from the city. I don't know. But, yeah, large murders of crows and buzzards are flying extraordinarily close to us for some reason. It's kind of cool. And lots of yellow butterflies. We like that. We like seeing yellow swallowtails. It's pretty cool because I love yellow swallowtails. Oh, here's one right now. There's a crow landing our truck right now. we like birds. We're of the bird family. Because, that whole last week I was in San Francisco, I kept hearing this random songs come into my head. And usually when that happens, I have to go look up the lyrics because I'm sure there's something in there I need to know. And for the last 3 days in the city, I just kept hearing over and over, "Come fly with me." That Frank Sinatra song. And, I don't own any of his albums or anything, but it just would not go away. Every morning I wake up and there it is again. "Come fly with me." I've never been to Acapulco. But then all of a sudden I started looking at the map and I was like, I've never even been anywhere on the southern continent. It's probably, there's 2 continents no, 3. I've never been to Antarctica either. There's 3 continents I've never been to. I'd like to go there someday. Oh, there goes the crow. I don't know if you saw that. So, once you start looking at maps, it always gets me excited. But yeah, it's a long way. It's a long way to Acapulco. It's even a longer way to all the other places that are south of there. But we're still at half a tank, so even though I just spent my last $100 on dog food, we got half a tank, we got dog food, we got tobacco for smokes, we got coffee and tea in the truck, and we got 1 gallon of water left. So I gotta just find as many free places to get water along the way, being that it is a drought out here. When you're away from the ocean, you start feeling the lack of water in the air and on the land and in these very yellow, dry hills. And with Sadie panting next to me, yes, it's a drought. So, we just had to take a break because I stopped and got, one of those, I like to call them fluffy coffees because they're, those big Frappuccino things with caramel and tons of sugar in them. Because I was so sleepy when I got on the road this morning, and I drank that thing, and then I just felt like I was floating, and this whole time on the road, I'm falling asleep. I'm I just drank fucking coffee. Why am I falling asleep? What the fuck? I don't know. Maybe it's the altitude because my ears be popping. Ears be popping. So, yeah. Clearly, my physical body is adjusting to the fact that it's in motion. Surprise, surprise. It'll be good for you in the long run. Maybe to it's nice to see things from far away. Probably really need that right now because sobriety does that to you. Sometimes it's better to get away from things. Last time I stopped in this little turnoff right here was in 2015 when I was driving the truck away from San Francisco for the first time, and I was in the midst of still building the whole house in the back, and I forgot that I left a giant 6-foot piece of 6x4 foot piece of, or 4x8 or whatever piece of plywood up on top of the roof. totally forgot I shoved it up there. And so when I was driving away, it got windy enough that it blew that motherfucking 4x8 piece of plywood off the top of the roof and onto the windshield and front hood of a SUV behind me. It was scary as fuck. We both pulled over, and he had this like little crack because it landed on the corner of the plywood, and it was a tiny little like not crack in the windshield, but just like a tiny like doop, like a tiny little dent, and it could have been so much worse. I mean, people could have died and shit, you know. And I was crying my eyes out because I was so sorry that happened. I just completely forgot it was up there. And he was all pissed off because he had just had his car detailed or some shit. And I was just crying in his face. And I was like, dude, I'm just so glad you're still alive. I'm like, you could have fucking died. That thing could have gone through your windshield, you know? Like, and I would be responsible for that. And I was just like so stressed out by that whole thought. And I was just so grateful he was okay. No one got hurt. And the cops came and, you know, and I thought I was going to be arrested and put in prison. I was like that stressed out. but and then he came back, and I remember praying really hard at that minute when I was sitting here, you know, because I didn't have insurance at that point. I was like at a pretty desperate low point in life and just wanted to go. So I had no insurance, and I was like sitting here thinking I was going to be arrested and put in prison and praying. And the cop came back and just said, okay, you're cool to go. And then I just left, and I couldn't believe all of that was just so amazing to me that I was let go, and I just fucking hightailed it at my moseying pace, because I don't really hightail, I just mosey. I'm in the slow lane. I'm a slow laner. Hello. Yeah, I'm a slow laner, so I'm always moseying. I like to mosey. It's my favorite speed to go. I'll get there when I get there, I say a lot. Because, you know, when you're driving a huge truck with way too much weight, you know, it's these moments I realize I have way too much shit in here that I really don't need to have, like this fucking 50-pound fucking brake drum that was the wrong brake drum that I meant to sell somewhere, and I just haven't gotten around to selling it. It's like worth $150 for shit. So now I gotta like start looking at shit to sell, which is how I made it cross country last time, going to lots of pawn shops and shit. You know, that's how we do it. But I don't know, something really adventurous about the fact that you don't know if you're going to live or die every single moment of the day. I get very excited about that. I know it's probably a little bit morose and bleak for some people to think that way, but you know, you're driving a giant truck on the road, you're like, you know, you got 1 gallon of water, you're down to your last $20 or whatever. I know, there's something very exciting about that, because then you kind of have when you have nothing left to lose, it's very liberating, and you kind of don't really take shit so seriously or something. I don't know. It just, there's something about being at your baseline in your mental baseline, where you're just literally like kind of sitting there going, what's really important right now? And what right now is really important is that Sadie's sitting here with a smile on her face.